Recognize Representative Langworthy of New York, valuable member of the Rules Committee, for 5 minutes.
Without objection.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, to the gentleman from Texas for yielding some time for me today. And as I rise in support of this legislation that will put to a full stop my own state of New York from banning affordable, reliable gas-powered vehicles. Now, last year, Governor Kathy Hochul announced that New York State, not to be outdone by Democrats in California, would move forward with a ban on the sale of new gas-powered vehicles by 2035. Mr. Speaker, this asinine approach is only the latest in a long list of actions taken by the Biden administration and by Democrats in my own state to foist new bans, regulations, and costs onto the backs of hardworking middle-class Americans. My colleagues on the other side of the aisle, they want the American people to believe that ditching our internal combustion engines for battery-powered cars, that's a silver bullet to a greener, cleaner future. But my constituents in upstate New York, in rural upstate New York, are facing energy costs that are 30% higher than previous years. And those costs are projected only to increase further and further. Rural towns and communities in western New York and the southern tier along the Pennsylvania border, they cannot survive on transportation that is solely battery-powered, given the long distances driven, charger accessibility, and lack of reliability that comes with the current crop of EVs. Now, last week, President Biden's own Energy Secretary, Granholm, she put on a master's class on the issues rural Americans will face, from failing to find working charging stations to long wait times. Her EV road trip was a total disaster. It was like an episode of Veep, and we cannot make this a reality for everyday Americans. Not only is it costly, not only is it impractical, but our electric grids are not capable of handling this added burden. The latest reports by New York's own independent service operators show that New York State's electrical grid is strained in approaching a breaking point as Governor Hochul and Democrats in Albany ban everything connected to fossil fuels, from stoves to cars to natural gas hookups in buildings and private homes. It's very simple, folks. Banning gas vehicles forces New Yorkers and Californians, and one day all Americans, if we keep going down this path, to live in an energy future that is less affordable, less safe, and more dependent than ever on our most dangerous adversary, China. I strongly support this underlying legislation today and this rule as a step towards ensuring America does not follow the lead of the radical left in California, in New York. Let's put a stop to these nonsensical bans that only benefit our foreign adversaries while making life much harder for everyday Americans. And I yield back, Mr. Speaker.